So I'm on the BJJ Fanatics website, and I see 3 new videos by some guy named Thomas Radzinski. You familiar with that guy at all?
Nope, absolutely not.
No? Well, he's got some good stuff. Three brand new videos. They're getting amazing reviews, which is good to see as well. But you got to tell us about them real quick?
Yeah, I had, you guys already know, but I had opportunity to go to Boston, shoot 3 more instructionals, 1 on butterfly hook, complete guide for butterfly hook, 2 wrap, lapel, and submit them, and 3 we have taking the back. It's particularly designed for guys for over 40 because there's no climbing involved. All the back takes are on the ground. Very, very full and effective system. So dip into it. I'm really hoping that this is going to help your jiu-jitsu and really take it to the next level.
BJJfanatics.com. Just search ROZDZ. We have all had that situation where after class is when we want to ask a question. And Thomas, a lot of those questions you've already answered, right, at Ask a Black Belt.
Yeah, it's another podcast that I'm running. It's on podcast, all podcast platforms, plus on YouTube. You can find it anywhere. Just search for my name. Search for Ask a Black Belt. At this point, over 100 episodes, different questions, jiu-jitsu, life-related, but something that everybody comes across, and often these questions sink in our mind, but we don't ask for whatever reason. So if that benefits you, go there, listen. It actually might help your jiu-jitsu, might help your life as well. And if you have any questions, find me on Instagram and drop me a line. I'll be happy to answer your question and mention your name during the episode.
Welcome to Raw Radio.
And we are live.
That was enthusiastic, that clap. It looked like
It looked like
you're trying to hit something.
it looked like I want to be here.
That was a good one. Oh, boy. Here we go.
What?
Nothing. I'm in excruciating pain. So, and not because, never mind, I was going to be mean again. If you listen to the episode, you know why. I'm not feeling hot. So, but whatever.
Great
Yeah.
conversation with Nate.
Yeah, he's a super nice guy. I've met him before in online meetings, and he just, the way he is in the episode seems to be the way he always is. So it's kind of cool. He's a genuine person.
Yeah,
It's
genuine
nice.
person, right?
Yeah, and I think that kind of shows itself in the way he teaches and what he was talking about, like how he teaches to his students, and on those asides, not the technical teaching.
The attitude of
His attitude about giving back and being there for other people and kindness. But what we really took away from it was he feels it's important to be in service to others, which I think is important. I think that maybe we get he was talking about it as it gets you out of your own headspace a little bit, which I think is true. And I think it puts you in other people's headspace, which I think is very important. I think we're lacking a lot of empathy nowadays. And I think that by serving others, it gives you perspective, that you might not have already had.
Why do you think we lack empathy?
To get back to what how it gets you out of your own head, I think we're very much in our own head, and we build these thoughts and we think we know the way it should be, right? It should be done like this, or I would handle it this way, or it should be handled this way.
Judgmental?
Yeah, we do. We get judgmental, and I think that it kind of I think. Listen, any attitude you have, I think, builds and reinforces that attitude, right? So I think that when we are in our own head and we are judgmental, that feeds itself, and you just become more like that. And I think when you're giving back and you're in service to others, that grows. That part of you grows. And I don't know if that's answering your question exactly, but
Not really, but
yeah. But you know where I'm getting, you know where I'm going with this.
I'm trying to understand. Like, I mean, we, you know, it's obvious that instructors and staff at the academy are here for other people. Like that's obvious. Like we all know that, but that empathy part
Mhm.
often is ignored.
Yeah.
Right? I think genuinely, actually, like I believe that genuinely, we all want to do well for our students. It doesn't matter where you are, what academy, who owns it. We all want to do well for our students. However, being available, going above and beyond, and being empathetic to people's lives, what they experience, really understanding what people go through and what their situations are, and what makes it hard for them, why they are here, why they did they come for jiu-jitsu, like this, their area right there is what's often ignored, and those who do dip into that, those are the ones who are successful. And those who don't, oftentimes, you see them struggle in some sense from a business perspective and from being an instructor. Wouldn't you agree?
I would, and I think that carries over into all different lifestyles and listen, people look. There's a lot of good instructors out there that have the attitude of, you're paying me to teach you something, and I'm teaching you, and that's where it ends.
Yeah.
And we talk about going above and beyond all the time. And I think whenever anybody goes up above and beyond in anything, it's beneficial to both the person you're going above and beyond for and to yourself, right? Alberto Crane was on not that long ago, and he said you have to give to receive. And I think that ties in a little bit here with the service. If you're in service to others, you will receive as well. And it could be receiving something as simple as a new perspective, or it could be, something, I don't want to say greater, but it could be something physical. It could be something, monetary. And it just, and it makes you feel good, right? And when you feel good, that vibe goes out to other people, and you carry it around with you, and they carry it around with them, right? And it's just like you always say a domino effect. And I think that's super. I think that is true, 100%. That how you, what you give is what you receive. Right? It's pretty simple.
Yeah. It's. Well, I'm just like thinking about this, right? How come, if this is so simple, why not everybody does it? Like, why do we have to have so much friction?
Well, because it's not simple. It's easy to say it. It's very easy to say it. It's easy to write a song about it, right? Many songs have been written about it. People say it all the time. Doing those things is actually a little more difficult because there's a lot of obstacles. There's a ton of obstacles. There's your daily life. There's the bad things that happen on a daily basis. There's the BS that you got to go through. There's the other stuff that you got to get done. You might not want to sit down and talk to somebody about their struggles on the mat because you got to get home to do something for your family, or just, you have an appointment, or you've had this conversation with
sacrifice
500 other students, and here you are having it like, Jesus Christ, but that conversation is unique to that one person.
Right.
Well,
and that's the hard part, right?
Yeah.
Behind what we do, in a sense, where there's only one of us and there's hundreds of students, and all of them seek your attention.
Yeah.
And obviously, bigger the organization, more instructors, but still, like, even if you have 20 black belts or 50 black belts and they all teaching, and you have a large organization, and you have 5,000 students, those 5,000 students still look at you individually, right? And they all come to you. Maybe to multiple yous, but they still come to you.
Right. It's still one of you to
against
multiple.
Yeah, not against, but yeah. And that's the hard part, right? Is like, when do you draw the lines? And that's the easy part. That's when it's easy to become less empathetic, less understanding, less accessible. Remove yourself from the situation simply because you just need a break. And unfortunately, the consequence of that is very different now, and it all kind of serves the domino effect down that way.
Yeah, it can be, how you handle the situation is going to dictate that person's response.
Mm-hmm.
And listen, you might not have time. Hey, I don't have time today.
Mm-hmm.
But remind me, or let's set aside some time in the future, or we'll figure it out tomorrow. Goes a lot longer than just always being closed off and never giving that person that opportunity, or your students that opportunity, or the person you see on the street that opportunity. I think it, like, even for my daughter is coming up on the age where she's going to have to start having volunteer hours at school, right? And I don't remember exactly what she asked me the other day about doing it somewhere. And I was like, no, like, that's not giving back. That's not volunteering. I can't remember what it was, but I said, no, we'll figure something out, but you're going to have to put a little effort in. You're going to have to, it's going to have to be a little bit of work. And I think being in service of people is work.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And then you pile that on top of the actual work that you're getting paid for, on top of the actual work that you got to do around the house, on top of the actual work you got to do to keep your personal relationships going and moving well and things like that. And, it becomes more and more difficult, especially when it's, like I said, it's the 500th time you're having that conversation.
Yeah, that's the challenging part behind everything that we do, how we do it. But ultimately, it is all worth it, right? Because when we help others, it all kind of falls in place, and it gives at least me gives me a sense of, I don't know how you feel about it, but it gives me a sense of satisfaction. It seems like that we're doing a good job. We are impacting others' lives, and we impacting families, and people are a little bit better because of what we do and how we do it. And I'm not trying to, my head to be big about this, but there is a certain sense of satisfaction that should be mentioned here, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's a group effort, right? And I think that, I always look to a kid who's now a teenager. I think he's going to be a junior, if not a senior in high school next year, right? Who would come in and not talk to anybody when he was 12 years old and sat on away from the group. And, and now he's in the adult class, and he's got a great core of friends that they all train together every Tuesday and Thursday nights at least. They're all here on those nights at least. And he's a great example of, like, a lot of places would look at that type of kid and be like, he ain't going to make it. That kid's going to wash out. He doesn't even want to be here, But no, we sat down before class and had conversations, and we gradually moved him over. Or you're having a conversation with him, and you look over and there's another kid, and you bring that kid into the conversation, and now they've got a connection. And Nate talked about a girl he had, a woman he had in one of his classes, her first day, and she's on the mat crying. And he went over, and he doesn't even really remember what he said or how he said it, but he knows he was kind to her. And now she's instructing there, years later. So yeah, and that makes him feel good, and we feel good about that kid, and we feel good about the adults that, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing, you can't be altruistic. You're never not, if you're doing things for other people, you will always get something out of it. And that's good. That's okay. That doesn't, some people see that as a negative, but I don't. If you're doing things for the right reasons, you should feel good about what you're doing.
No, I agree. I can hear the kids in the background.
Yes, they're out there getting ready. It's on Monday when we're recording this, so they've had all weekend being told to calm down and don't climb on your brother, and now they're here.
They're here,
and they're supposed to climb on people.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. All right. Well, I'm glad to see you back from your vacation. Glad to have you back.
Thanks.
We
I wish I had it back.
Well,
if it is very
what did we learn from your vacation? Don't dig holes while you're supposed to be resting.
Going on vacation is not the time to start big landscaping projects. And with a slightly torn meniscus MCL to boot. So I was probably being very awkward. I'm always awkward, but then you throw all that stuff on top of it. And the next thing you know, you're laying in the grass in your backyard going,
is there footage of this?
No, thankfully, because I do have another Ring camera. Shout out to Ring endorsements. That I haven't hung that would have caught that angle, but I was in a blind spot. So thankfully, no, there's
no embarrassing footage of you.
No, don't worry. It's etched in my memory, though.
Awesome. Well, welcome back, and let's
Good idea.
we got another few episodes planned, so let's do it. Let's
All
go. Let's go play with the kids now.
Okay. See you
Later.
soon.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Raw Radio. If you enjoyed the show, don't forget to leave us a review and help us make the show even more amazing. For future episodes, check out our website and follow us on all major podcast platforms. Take care.